Welcome to Java lecture, and today's topic is static keyword and inheritance in the Java. In this session we discuss these two topics. So first, static keyword. The static keyword is used at various levels. So static with respective variable, with respective method, and with respective classes, and with respective block. At these four levels static keyword is used. So first we discuss the static variable with an example. So static variable, so when a name or value that is common to multiple objects, so such type of values must be declared using static variable. For example, let us take a company name, company. So in that company, the company name is common to all employees. And if we take the college, and the college name is common to all students, so such type of values must be declared as a static variable. So once the variable is static, it gets memory only when the class is loaded. So unlike instance variables, memory will not be allocated every time when the object is created. Let's see the example. A static variable, here I am taking one class, that class name is student. So here roll number and name, these two are instance variables. And university, this also I am taking as instance variable, even though SRU means that college university name is common to all students. If we take like that, what happens? So for this class, here two objects are created, object 1, object 2 and object 3. For the object 1, memory allocated for these three members, roll number, name and university name is SRU. For the second object also same memory allocated for the 3, roll number, name and university name, and for third object also same. So if we observe these values for three objects, the university name SRU is common. So even though it is common, 3 times memory allocated. So in order to allocate the memory only once to such common names, so that university variable must be declared as a static. So then irrespective of number of objects created, the memory allocated only once for the static variable. So since here college name is common to, university name is common to all students, so that variable here I declared as a static. So here three objects are created. Then for the irrespective of the objects, the memory allocated only once for the university variable, that is its value is SRU. And for the object 1, 2, 3, the separate memory allocated for the roll number and name, because roll number and name is different from student to the student. So that's why those variables are declared as a static and memory allocated separately. Since college university name is common, that's why I declared this variable as static. So memory allocated only once, and this value is shared by all these three objects. Next, static method. Static methods belong to the class rather than the object. So that means if the method is a static method and these methods are called by using class name in which this method is defined. So generally instance variables are called by using object name, but if the method is a static method, so that method is called by using class name instead of the object name. So we call these methods as a class level methods rather than the object level. And static method can access the static members directly, so without need of any object name. So let us see this with an example. Here I have taken the student class. So your roll number and name are instance variables, and university is the static variable because university name is common to all students. So I declare this variable as a static. So here I have taken change method. The change method is static method. So since change method is static method, so it can access the static variables directly. In this program, university is the static variable, so its name can be used directly in the static method change. So here in the method I am changing that university name from the SRU to Osmania. And this is the class which contains main method. So from this main method we call that change method. So since change method is static, so that method can be called by using its class name. So the change method class name is student, so that's why that method can be called like this, student dot change. So in this change method, if we want to access the instance variables, so then we have to create object to that class, and using the object we can access the instance variables. So in this example, student is a class. In that class, roll number is instance variable. If you want to access that roll number in the change method, we have to create object to the student class. So let us see how this is. So in this way we have to create object to the student class. So that object name is O, and using that object name you can access roll number as O data roll number. So this part can be written in the change method if you want to access that instance variable in the static method. So next is static block. So static blocks are used to initialize the static data members. Means whenever if you want to execute any block of code before any other method in the program, so then the static blocks are used. So let us see. So class A2. So in this class I have taken one block. So generally block starts with the open brace and ends with closed brace. So this block I am making it as a static, and in this static block just I am printing one message Warangal. Next, this is the main method. In the main method I am printing SRU. So generally main method will be executed first, but in this program I have taken the static method, so static block, so that block will be executed before the main method. So here the output is Warangal SRU. Next we discuss static class. Static class. So before going to learn the static class, first we discuss what is outer class, inner class and nested class. So a class can be defined in the another class. So when it is defined in the another class, that class may be a static and a non-static. So here a class A is defined. In this class A, class B is created, and class B is inside the class A, but it is non-static. Next, class C is also inside the class A, but class C is static. So in this example, the class A is called as outer class, class B is called as the inner class because it is non-static. So if it is static, we call that class as the nested class. So in this example, class C is the static, so we call that class as a nested class. So always nested classes are static classes only. So let us see this with a complete program example. So when we are using classes in this way, so if you want to create object to the inner class, so first we have to create object to the outer class. By using that object we can create object to the inner class. But coming to the nested class, so without object of the outer class, so we can create object to the nested class. So let us see this with an example program. Let us see the example program. So here in this example program, class A I have taken. So in that class A, class B is created with the method M and printing some message that is from inner class. So here B is called as inner class. So since it is non-static, we can call this as inner class. So here the class C is also used inside the A class. So since it is static, so we call this class as a nested class. So with method M1. So in the main method, when we are creating object to the B, first we need object of the A class. But to create object to the C class, so we don't want object of the A. So let us see in the class with the main method. So from this we create object and access method M and M1. So first to call the method M, we have to create object to the B class. Since B is inner class, so first we have to create object to the A class. So this is the way of creating object to the A class, and object name is O, and using that O we create object to the B. So here O dot new B. So this is the way of creating object to the inner class. So now using that O1 we can call M method. So then it goes to the M method, we get output from inner class. So next to create object to the C class, so this is the way of creating object to the C class. So since this class C is static, so that is called by using its outer class name. So A dot C O2 equals to new A dot C. So here O2 is the object of the C class. So using that we can call O2 dot M1. So then it goes to the M1, we get output from nested class. So this is the way in which we create object to the inner class and static class. So this is the use of static keyword at various levels, like static variable, static method, static block and static class. So next topic is inheritance. So inheritance is one of the OOPS concepts, like class object polymorphism. So this inheritance is one of the OOPS concepts. So inheritance is a mechanism where one class gets properties of another class. So with this we have an advantage that without redefining the properties we can get those properties from the another class and we can use that. So because of that, so we can avoid that redundancy, means the same things, same properties will not be declared in the subclasses. So the class which is giving properties is known as the parent class or base class or super class. The class which is getting properties is known as subclass, derived class or child class. Using any of these, from these three names we can use any name to represent the class which is getting properties and class which is giving properties. And subclass will be created by using extends keyword. So here we discuss, I will show you that with a simple diagrammatical representation. So here the class A and class B, two classes we are taking, and class B is getting properties from the class A. So since class A is giving properties, we call this class as a super class or base class or parent class, and class B is taking properties, so we call this class as a subclass or derived class or child class. So let us see how this in the program how we create a subclass. So this is the class A, and class A, in this class A you can write any number of, depending on the requirement, variables and methods can be declared. So here I am not creating that method and variables, just I am simply showing that class A, and for this class A how that subclass will be created. So this is the way how subclass created. Class B extends A. So here the class B is the subclass and class A is the superclass. So in this way, for any class, by using extends keyword, so we can create the subclass. So these are the types of inheritances: single inheritance, multi-level or multi-path inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance. So the multiple inheritance, it is not possible by using classes, but by using interfaces it is possible. So remaining all can be implemented by using classes. So first let us see single inheritance. So in single inheritance, that contains one base class and one subclass, and subclass gets properties from the base class. So multi-level inheritance, so this contains one base class and one subclass, and besides these some intermediate classes will be there. So these intermediate classes, any number of intermediate classes may be there. So in this example I have taken only one, but it is not confined to only one. There may be any number of intermediate classes, and in this way one class gets properties from the another. Next, hierarchical inheritance. This inheritance contains one base class and more than one subclass. Subclasses can be any number of classes, but base class should be only one. So in this way subclasses get properties from base class. And multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is possible by using interfaces, not by classes, but that structure I am showing here. In this inheritance, so there will be more than one base interfaces, and from those interfaces one class, one subclass get the properties, and those properties will be implemented in the subclass. Means here it contains more than one base interfaces and one subclass. So this is just diagrammatical representation of different inheritances. So where how many base classes and how many subclasses we have. And the last one is, so hybrid inheritance is the combination of above two or more types of inheritances. So let us see, this is a single inheritance, one superclass and one subclass, and this is hierarchical inheritance. C3 is the superclass and C4, C5 are the subclasses. So below three classes represents hierarchical inheritance, above two classes represents single inheritance, and when we combine these two, so that is nothing but hierarchical inheritance. Means combination of any two or more of the previous types of inheritances, that is called as the hybrid inheritance. So in this example this is single inheritance and this is hierarchical inheritance. So total combination of these two inheritances we call it as hybrid inheritance. So these are the diagrammatical representation in each inheritance, how many subclasses and how many superclasses we have. So now we see all these with an example program, how we practically write the program to implement these different types of inheritances. Now let us see the example program for the single inheritance. So the class A, and it contains only one property. So properties means that property may be a variable or method in a class. So in this class I have taken only one variable, that is int a equals to 10, and class B extends A. That means class B is the subclass, class A is the superclass, and using extends keyword we create subclass to any other class, and display method I have taken, and here I am printing only a value. So if you observe this program, in the class B a variable is not declared, but without declaring I am trying to print that a value, and it is possible because class B is the subclass of class A. So the A property, that is a value a equals to 10, so is available logically in the class B, means B can get all values of class A. So that is the reason why here without declaring a variable in the subclass we can print the a value. So even though a value means the a variable belongs to the class A, and in order to call this from the main method, so generally we create object to most derived class. So in this example we have only one derived class, but sometimes there may be more than one derived classes. So that's why generally we create object to the most derived class. So in this example the most derived class is a B class, so we create object to the B class in the main method. So this is the main method. So in this main method we create object to the B class. So B obj new B, and obj is the object name, so object name dot display. So then this display method will be called and we get a output here. So this is a single inheritance. So here we have one superclass and one subclass. Now coming to the multi-level inheritance. So in the multi-level, one superclass and one subclass. In the previous slides I showed you the diagram in each inheritance, how many superclasses and how many subclasses. So in the multi-level inheritance we have one superclass and one subclass. Between these two there may be any number of intermediate classes. In this example I am taking only one intermediate class, that is B. So according to this diagram we create classes here now. So first we create A class. So class A and two variables, a equals to 10 and b equals to 20 I have taken. Next to class B. So class B is getting properties from the class A. So class B is called as subclass of class A. So using extends keyword we create subclass, that is class B extends A, and display B. In this display B I am printing a value. So even though the a value, a variable is not declared in the B class, so we can get that value from the class A and print here, because class B is the subclass of A, so it can get all properties from the class A. So in this example A variable as well as B variable both are available in the class B. Next we create class C, which is getting properties from that is the subclass of class B. So in this way we create subclass to the class B. Class C extends B. So then C is a subclass and B is a superclass, and display C method, and here I am printing B value. So B value, even though it is not declared in the class C, so we can print the B value because this B value is taken from the superclass. So AB values will be given to the B class, and B class in turn pass those values to the class C. So according to this inheritance. So in the multi-level inheritance, class A, class B, class C. So all properties of the class C are available in the class B, and all properties of the class B are available in the class C. So in this way we can get properties from the another class in the multi-level inheritance. And here three classes we have generally. When we are calling from the main method, we create object to the most derived class. In this example most derived class is C, the last derived class. So we create object to the most derived class C. So here C obj new C, for the C class object created, and using that object name, so you can call that obj dot display B and obj dot display C, because these variables and these methods, everything is available in the most derived class C. So this is an example program for multi-level inheritance or multi-inheritance. Next, hierarchical inheritance. So hierarchical inheritance has one superclass and more than one subclass. So we can observe this diagram. A one superclass and B and C subclasses. So any number of subclasses can be created here. So according to this diagram, so let us create the classes. So first class A with two variables, A equals to 10 and 20. So besides these variables we can also take the methods, but for simplicity here I am taking only two variables. And class B extends A. So class B is the subclass of class A. So class B extends class A, and one method display B method taken and printing that A variable. And next we have to create class C, and this is the subclass of the class A according to this diagram. So class C extends A. C is a subclass, A is a superclass, and display method I have taken here and printing that B value. So all AB values here, AB values available in the B as well as in the C. So that's why AB values can be printed in the B class as well as C class also. So in any class we can print, and while calling that method, maybe display B or display C. So in order to call that in the main method, generally we create object to the most derived class, but in this example most derived class means two classes we have. So B class and A class both are at same level, so both are called as most derived classes. So in order to call display B method, means B class method, you create object to the B class. If you want to call the C class method, that is display C, then create object to the C class. So like this separately we have to create in this example, because most derived class means here we have two classes B and C. These two are called as most derived classes. So this is the main method. So first create object to, we can create object to any class. First here I have created object to the C class, that is obj1 is the object name. So using that object obj1 dot display C I am calling. So then we get this output first, B value will be displayed first, and next you create object to the B class, that is B obj2 new B. Now using this obj2 object you can call this display B. So in this way, if we want to call that B class method, we have to create object to the B class. If you want to call the object of the method of the C class, then we have to create object to the C class. So like this separately we have to create. So next, hybrid inheritance. So this is the diagram. Hybrid inheritance, one superclass and combination of any of the previous two or more inheritances. So here I have taken A, B, C. So this is hierarchical inheritance. Next A, C, D. This is multi-level inheritance, and C, D, this is single inheritance. So like this, three different types of inheritances are combined. So we can call this as hybrid inheritance. So according to this diagram, we create classes. So first create the A class. So class A, it contains again the same data I am taking, AB values 10 and 20. And next create a B class. So B is the subclass of A. So by using extends keyword we can create a subclass. Class B extends A, display B method I have taken, I am printing this A value. So here we have to concentrate on how that classes are getting created, subclasses. But whatever the method we can take, and whatever the value what we are taking from the A class we can print here. So here we can print A value or B value, because two values we are getting from superclass. So method name, that's up to us. Whatever the method name we want, we can take that method name. So it doesn't matter, no need to take that same method, that display B. And the next class C I am creating. Class C is also subclass of the A. That's why class C extends A. So class C extends A. So C is a subclass, A is a superclass, taking one method name, and here I am printing the B value. So here AB value is available in the C, and in the B class also AB value is available. So up to here, this is hierarchical inheritance, what I showed you in the previous slide. So, but here the new thing, that extra D classes is going to be created, and D is the subclass of C. So that's why class D extends C. So in this way class D should be created. So that is class D extends C. So void display D. So here I am printing B value. So in the D also all values available, means AB values available in the D also. So we can print any value, but here I am printing that only B value. So in this example, the most derived class is D. If you create object to the D, you can call the members of the D and members of the C and members of the A, but you cannot call members of the B. So B is a separate branch. So if you want to call the members of the B, then you have to create object to the B class only. So using D class object, you cannot call B class members. So let us see how these objects are created in the main method. This is the main method, and see, I am creating object to the C class obj, and using that C class I can call that display C method. So C method I can call. Next I am creating object to the B. So using that B class, so I can call only display B method, that is obj2, the display B method. Next I am creating D. So object of the D, and using that I am calling display D. So here in this example I created objects separately for 3 classes, but here no need to create object to this C class, because already here we have created D class object. So using the D class object, that is obj3, so you can call the members of D as well as C class as well as A class. So here I showed by creating object to the 3 different classes, but here without creating this object of C, so we can call C class method, that is display C, by using obj3. So let us see, just assume that you remove this one, that is the first statement, that object created for the C class. So without you creating this, so we can call that display C by using obj3, because D class is the most derived class, and using this, so we can call the method of C also. So this is an example for the hybrid inheritance. Next, coming to the multiple inheritance. So at the time of types of inheritances, I told you that multiple inheritance is not possible by using classes, but by using interfaces it is possible. So you can understand that clearly at the time of inheritances, but here I will give you just why it is not possible, just in a simple just overview of that multiple inheritance, why it is not possible. So this is the diamond problem. We call this as diamond problem because the structure looks like a diamond. So assume that class A, this contains one method display, and display is the method of the class A. Since class B and class C are the subclasses, and these two classes can get this display method like this. Now the display method, one version is with the class B, another version with the class C. Now these two are the superclasses, and class D becomes a subclass. Means when one class getting properties from more than one class, so that we call it as a multiple inheritance. So in this example, the class B, class D gets a display method from B class as well as C class. So then this class D will be in confusion. So which version of the display is received, whether B display version or C display version. So that confusion will be raised in the class D. So that is the reason why it is not possible by using the multiple inheritance. So about this, at the time of inheritances, you can learn more in detail about the multiple inheritance. Just here I am giving you just a simple idea why that multiple inheritance is not possible by using classes. Thank you.